All right, what's going on, boys? It's Keg back with another Run Pure Bets UFC Fight Night full card breakdown. What's going on? We got about 6 hours to the card starts. Obviously, a couple fights have been pulled. Ariane Lipsky fight gets pulled, and I don't know why the Jason Witt Josh Quinlan fight got pulled, but that's the news that I woke up to. The boys in the Discord let me know that. But we'll break down the remaining 9 or 10 fights, whatever we got left, and then we'll get out of here, try to make some money tonight. So, Myra Bueno Silva against Stephanie Edgar. Gavin was just talking about he liked the finish-only line on Myra Bueno Silva at minus 110. And I don't hate that bet because I don't really see how Stephanie Edgar finishes the fight, right? So this was one of the few dogs on the card I thought was live and can actually win the fight. So if I was betting the fight, actually, let's check the odds. I don't even know if she's still a dog. Let's see what we got. Yeah, she's still a dog, plus 105. I lean with her. It feels like a total coin flip to me. Obviously, we're going to be on the split at plus 450, but I'll lean Silva. She's got power on the feet. She's really good in the clinch. And at the end of the day, I think Gavin's right. If somebody's going to get a finish in this fight, it's going to be her. So the minus 110 finish only bet could potentially be safer. But like I said, I don't really mind the dog spot here, but I don't bet money lines anymore in low-level women's MMA. So that's why we're on the split prop at 4.5 to 1. But yeah, I think the wrong fighter's probably favored here. So dog or pass. Corey McKenna, Miranda Granger. Yeah, both these women are not really good at their job. I mean, that Elise Reed fight for Corey McKenna was crazy. I don't understand why her coaches would allow her to stand and bang with Elise Reed for 2 rounds before she started getting takedowns and winning the fight. It doesn't really make sense to me. It was an awful move by the corner. And anybody with a corner like that makes me hesitant to want to put my money on at all, right? But we're certainly not on McKenna as a $2 favorite, right? Because we don't bet money lines at $2 favorites in women's MMA. It's not really what we do here. But to be fair, Miranda Granger isn't very good either. She comes in off a 2-year layoff. I think she had a baby. But she doesn't look bad. She looked great on the scale. She was ripped, in shape. I said that she was the betting favorite against Amanda Lemos, if you can believe that. And I think it was her. It might have been her UFC debut. She was also the favorite against Yoder, but she lost both. She's not very good. Both these women are not very good. I don't really care who wins the fight. Give me the split prop at 4.5 to 1. Actually, this one was 4 to 1. And you move on. But Corey McKenna is now minus 180. So Miranda Granger is taking a little bit of money. McKenna was minus 210 earlier in the week. So the Jason Witt, Josh Quinlan fight gets pulled. Unfortunate, because I really wanted to fade Jason Witt's chin. That sucks. But the fight gets pulled. We'll see Josh Quinlan soon, I'm sure. And we move on. Terence Mckinney, Eric Gonzalez. I mean, how many prospects at 155 pounds right now do you rate higher than Terence Mckinney? Not many that I can think of, right? I mean, he's a legitimate prospect. He's probably one of the best prospects right now in the world at 155 pounds. Now, we faded him last time out against Drew Dober because I'm a Drew Dober stan, and that guy's head, it's impossible to knock him out. You can't knock him out. So, but Terence McKinney had a really good showing in that fight. He hurt Drew Dober bad, dropped him. Obviously, Drew Dober bounces right back up like one of those fucking bouncy tubes that you punch, and it just comes right back up. And what happened? Drew Dober goes on to win the fight. That's what happens. But I love the kid. He's got power for days. He's lightning quick. Everything, footwork, cardio. From what we don't really know about his fight IQ right now, totally. But from what I've seen, it hasn't been bad. Obviously, he's a huge threat on the ground. He's got a great submission grappling game, and he's underrated as a wrestler. So, and he's going to drop in class to take on a kid that, like, Eric Gonzalez is getting knocked out by 40-year-old dudes in 2022. And now he's going to fight a guy that's better than him absolutely anywhere this fight goes. So it's a no-brainer for me. Now, listen, should Terence McKinney be an $8.50 favorite? No. Probably not. No. Not at this point in his career. No. But he has a huge edge in the fight. But you have to make a stand because you can only take him by knockout or by submission. You really can't take both. And he can get it. He's just as likely, maybe slightly less likely to get a submission than a knockout. But I'm going to go with the knockout. I lean knockout because you have the upside of the knockout on the feet. Plus, I expect him to probably just take this fight to the ground and pound this kid into the dirt, into the earth. Probably. Now, if the kid turtles and gives up his back, he's going to win by submission. If Herb Dean's not in there, maybe we get the stoppage. But I'm going to roll with KO because I feel very confident that he will either knock out or submit him. You're going to give me plus 120 by knockout? I'll take my shot. Or plus 130, whatever we got early in the week. So that's where I'm at there. Brian Battle, Takashi Sato. Yeah, Brian Battle. Obviously, so we have two contender series fights. No, we don't. Let me rewind that because I'm a little high. We have two Ultimate Fighter finale fights on this card. Last year's winner of the Ultimate Fighter, who I think was Brian Battle, I'm pretty sure, is fighting on this card. And he finally fights in the UFC for the first time against a normal man on the roster, not somebody from the Tough House. So I'm excited to see what's actually going to happen with this kid because I like his skill set. I think it's solid. He's good from range. He's got good footwork. He carries a little bit of power. But like I said all week, I don't think that his hand speed is very fast. And I also don't think that his top control wrestling game is all that great. But all in all, I think that there is a lot to like about him. His cardio has been good. He can set a pace, but the problem is he's dropping down to 170 pounds for the first time. Okay. Then you see him on the scale, and he looks like a walking zombie. He looked awful on the scale. But he was bopping around. He was happy. Maybe he just looked bad, but he doesn't feel bad. That's definitely a possibility. But I do worry about his cardio a little bit at 170 pounds for the first time. But I like his skill set. Takashi Sato, we all know about Takashi Sato. We were all frustrated when Gunnar Nelson could not get the submission on Takashi Sato to cash our Gunnar Nelson submission prop in Takashi Sato's first fight back in 2 years, I think. But he's always seemed like he's KO or bust to me. The one knock on him is similar to Vicente Lucay, who we'll talk about later. You can get him to the ground. And if you can get him to the ground, he's probably going to be there a while. Now, Gunnar Nelson wasn't able to submit him, but he had 10 minutes of control time probably in that fight. Brian Battle is going to try to do the exact same thing again, because on the feet, Takashi Sato is a solid, sound power striker. His big problem is he only throws 2.8 significant strikes per minute. So when you're diving into the analytics and you think that this fight could easily go to the cards, you want a fighter that's throwing more than 2.8 significant strikes per minute. And we know Brian Battle will be throwing volume. Now, can Takashi Sato land that kill shot? Yeah, definitely. He brings an interesting stance. His footwork is he fights out of a pretty normal karate stance, which is an interesting look for some fighters where they've never seen that look before. So he could find the kill shot. But I tend to think that this fight probably gets to the cards. The odds open Battle minus 200. Right now he's minus 285. I agree with them. I did agree with the move because I didn't expect him to look as bad on the scale as he actually did. Now that he looked like that, it's easy to make an argument to shoot your shot on Takashi Sato to get a knockout. He's plus 240 on the money line. Him to win by knockout is plus 450. I mean, I don't think Brian Battle's ever been knocked out before. But if he feels as bad as he looked on the scale, that is not a bad bet by knockout at plus 450. That's not bad. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this fight. I'll probably be on something in this fight on the Kegcast when I'm hanging with Gab and Johnny and Diego. But as of right now, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I lean Battle wins by decision at plus 120. That was my lean pre-looking at him on the scale. Now, I don't know. I'll talk to Gab about it, see where he's at. But I'll still lean Battle. I don't know what side I'm going to bet, though. Sam Alvey, Oleg Zaechuk, huh? Smiling Sam Alvey. You love to see him on a fight card. When it's Sam Alvey fight week, I've got a chub. Why? Because hasn't won a fight since 2018. Now, if he took a couple years off and maybe only fought twice, not a big deal. Our boy Samuel fought 8 times since 2018. 8 times. Hasn't won a fight. It's been a bad couple of years for Sam. But you have to respect the fact that he's still smiling. So at least he's got that going for him, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, no. Okay, Sam? No. So I can't bet Sam Alvey. I like Oleg Zaechuk. First time that he's dropping down to 185, I think, ever. But I like the move because he's been gassing out late in fights, and I don't think it's a bad move for him. If he's in there with guys that are really his size, or if he's the bigger fighter in some fights, he's probably going to have the cardio to go the full 15. But he's better everywhere. Let's be honest. He's probably better everywhere. And he's going to have the speed advantage, and speed kills, especially in the pocket. We know that. And what Oleksiejczuk is probably going to do is what he did against Gamzatov. Walk him down, get him against the cage, try to put him away, and go home. Now, I wanted to bet him by decision because historically Alvey has been durable, but that durability is gone. It's a myth now. It doesn't exist really anymore. He's been either like choked out or like knocked out in a bunch of fights. Now, he hasn't been knocked out lately. He's been getting choked out. But I mean, he has multiple knockout losses. That chin is nowhere near what it was 3 years ago. That's for sure. So I'm going to lean Oleksiejczuk by knockout. I think you do that at minus 105, minus 110, or maybe you take your shot that it happens early and go with the under 1.5 rounds at, like, let's see what the price is. It was plus 135. Oleksiejczuk should not be a $6 favorite. That's crazy. That's a little crazy. But man, I mean, is it when you're fighting a guy that hasn't won since Donald Trump was president? I don't know. Probably not. Last time Sam Alvey won a fight, there's a good chance that there were probably like 3,000 Make America Great Again hats in the arena where he won the fight. That's how long ago it's been. So maybe it's not crazy. So Oleksiejczuk's minus 125 at DK now by KO. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me because earlier in the week when I did the write-ups in the Discord, I thought that was the spot at minus 105, minus 110. So at minus 125, you think he could put Sam Alvey away in one round? Oleksiejczuk is plus 200 in round one, plus 350 in round two. I don't know. I'll lean with him by KO, though, for now. All right. What do we got next? Oh, Cousin Fredo's in the chat. You have to throw... Yeah, I don't know, Gab. You think we should do that? Did you see how bad Brian Battle looked on the scale? My God, it was so bad. I don't know. I'll talk it over with Cousin Fredo, see what he says. You know, I might be calling him Fredo from now on. It just hit me. All right. Ariane Lipsky, Priscilla Cachoeira, canceled. Augusto Sakai, Sergey Spivak. Yeah, Sakai is a pass for Keg. Why? Back-to-back-to-back knockout losses. That's why. I just can't bet a guy off 3 knockout losses in a row, especially when he hasn't looked right lately. He's got to get back on the right track before I could bet him here, even if he's going to have an advantage on the feet until this fight gets to the ground. So Sakai is a pass for me, although like Sunday night, when I saw that number on him before I did any tape study, I was like, that's not a bad number, but I can't do it. Not after watching that Overeem fight, the Rosenstruck fight, the Tuivasa fight again, all 3 of those for the second time or third time or fourth time with all the tape that we watch. Who knows? But I can't do it. He hit the wall. And now he comes in against Sergey Spivak, where he's going to be the better striker in this fight, no doubt, Sakai. But will he be able to stay on his feet? And that's the question in this fight. I say no, because Alistair Overeem was able to get him down to the mat in round 3, round 4, and round 5. He had issues. He didn't really try all that much in the first couple rounds, but he couldn't get him to the ground in the first couple rounds. But let's be honest, Sergey Spivak's takedown game, it's just better than Overeem's. It is. So I think that he will get the takedown. And once that happens, Sakai is a fish out of water on his back. He's a dead duck. He will be there till the bell rings for the next round, or he will get knocked out by ground and pound. And I tend to think that Spivak is just going to get him down probably late first and then again early second. And when he gets him down early in that second round and he has time to work, his ground and pound is ridiculous. I just think he's going to probably just grind him to dust. I guess he could submit him, but I think when you're talking about a price that it's plus 175, when I was doing the write-ups, let me check what the price is now. Plus 175. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad price. What is he inside the distance? Minus 125. I don't mind either of those. I will probably... You know what I'll probably do? Throw a half unit on him inside the distance and a half unit on him by KO at plus 175. I think that's probably what I'm going to do in that fight. Because he does have a substantial advantage on the ground. I will not sit on your face. I appreciate the offer, though. It's kind. It's kind of you. So those are the 2 angles that I would go with in the Spivak fight. And man, I know we're usually on dogs on most of these cards, 3 or 4. There are not a lot of dogs that I like on this card. Brogan Walker, Juliana Miller. So neither of these women are in the UFC yet. But they are from the tough finale. The winner gets a contract here. And we know Brogan Walker from Invicta. She's had 3 or 4 fights over there. She beat Miranda Maverick. I watched her. I basically only used with the tape that I saw, though, from watching The Ultimate Fighter, because that's where she's at now. Those 2 fights in the house. I think that she is a better striker than Juliana Miller, and she's more polished. But I do think that her striking game is pretty simple. She bounces in and out of the pocket, jabs from range, and then she's always looking for that counter check right hook when you come in. That's her game plan, basically. That's all we saw in the house, with some nice cage control. Aside from that, that's her. I think she's probably better now, but I think that Juliana Miller has a much higher ceiling. She's more raw. She only has 3 fights. But when you watch that girl tonight, you'll be like, that's not bad for 3 fights ever. Because her striking is raw, but it's effective. She comes charging like Thiago Santos style, throwing punches and bunches, and she lands them. They're accurate. And it looks like she does damage. And she's been on the, if she can get you to the, she's very small. If she can get you to the ground, she's tall, but she's like, as thick as a pencil. But she's tall. But she looked like she did not have the best takedown game. If she can get you down to the ground, though, you're in trouble. She's been grappling in tournaments for forever, and she can submit you. She'll find an opening. But I'm going to pick her. The odds opened, she was minus 135. Last time I checked, Juliana Miller was minus 120. Let's see where we are now. Minus 130. So she's taking a little bit of money again. Listen, there's only one bet to make in this fight. Greasy split decision at plus 350. Bet it and forget it. If it wins, great. If it doesn't, you're on the next woman's split. So, and this of the 3 women's fights on the card has the best path for us to get this plus 350 home. All we need is 1 out of 3 to make nice profit. If we get 2 out of 3, it makes your entire UFC Fight Night. So we're going to shoot our shot. But I'm going to pick her to win the fight. I wouldn't bet her at minus 130. I wouldn't bet either of these women right now in their career. But I will bet on them to have a close fight. Second tough finale fight. Mo Usman, Zach Pauga. So this is Kamaru Usman's brother, who is bigger than Usman and nowhere near as talented. That's what it looks like. So again, I threw the record out for both guys. Neither have fought anybody substantial. Doesn't matter what they've done. The only thing I saw was I wanted to gauge their skill set in the house. That's what I based my handicap off. They both want to stand and bang. Neither of them want to go to the ground. And one of them probably has a more polished striking game right now in Zach Pauga, okay? Now, I do think that both guys are dangerous. Usman could definitely catch him because he throws bombs, and he's a big guy. So could he catch him? Yeah. all things being equal, though, more times than not, I'm going to take the more skilled guy. Pauga looks like he's the more skilled guy right now on the feet. But in saying that, now the odds open minus 200. Now he's minus 280. If in saying that, listen, I'm not going to tell you not to take Usman at plus 235 because it's a low level fight. Nobody is in the UFC yet. He throws bombs. He's going to be live at heavyweight at plus 235. So if you told me that you were on him, I wouldn't say it's a bad bet. If you're looking to back the guy that I think will win the fight probably in Pauga, it's a tough call to make by knockout or decision because a lot of times these guys are fighting for their life to get a UFC contract, to change their life. They're going to be a little tentative. They are not going to care about impressing Dana White. They have to get the contract first, then they can worry about impressing Dana White. So I do think they will be extremely cautious to make sure that the other guy doesn't hurt them, which could lead to a decision win for whoever wins the fight. And it could also lead to a greasy split. So the split prop is 6.5 to 1. That's not bad because I could see this being really close if they're cautious. I'm going to pick Pauga to win. I've been going back and forth all week on him by knockout or him by decision. Looking at the prices, he's plus 180 by knockout, plus 150 by decision. You know, you want to know what I would do? I would probably take him by knockout at plus 180 and bet the split decision prop at 6.5 to 1 for a sprinkle. Because if it goes to the cards, I'm telling you, it's going to be close. And there's a good shot that ticket cashes at 6.5 to 1. If it doesn't go to the cards, I think he's got the best chance to knock the other guy out. I don't know. One thing I know for sure that I will be on is the split prop at 6.5 to 1. I will have a little bit of money on that. Definitely. Aside from that, though, I mean, the over 2.5 rounds is minus 120. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. But, yeah, I mean, you guys know my direction in that fight. All right, Vicente Lucay versus Jeff Neal. If you don't know, now you know. We're on Lucay minus 140. The whole crew has been on it for about a month now. I didn't throw it on the spreadsheet, which in retrospect, I probably should have. But anybody that watches the live betting show knows that Gavin, me, Johnny, Diego, I mean, we were all on Lucay from Jump Street. That price was a joke at minus 140. I do like Jeff Neal. I think he's a good fighter, although I think something's wrong. He clearly doesn't look right the last few fights, but he's a good fighter. His striking is clean. And I think that as long as Vicente Lucay gets inside the kicking range of Neal and lives in the pocket, he's going to destroy Jeff Neal. if he doesn't and he stays at range, and Jeff Neal can implement the kicking game, then I think it gets a little bit closer. But I still am going to pick Vicente Lucay in a fight where you're going to be on the feet for 15 minutes, because his only weakness and blemish is losing to Bilal Muhammad, who is one of the best pure wrestlers at 155 pounds in the world in terms of MMA. Jeff Neal's not really a takedown threat. I don't think he's going to have to worry about that. And if that's the case, inject Lucay minus 140 into my fucking veins. So here's the problem for the people that don't watch the show. Now he's minus 185. So, how do you back him? I think that your best option is to take the women's fight that you think has the best chance to go to decision and bet like an alternative over, like 1.5 rounds. That'll probably get the price down to minus 120 range, if I had to guess. Maybe minus 130. I think that's your only route. Because Lucay could win by knockout, submission, decision. He could win every way. So that's what I would be looking to do if you don't have a minus 140 ticket in your pocket. All right, main event, Thiago Santos, Jamal Hill. Like I've been saying, Thiago Santos is like the Bible. Before John Jones, after John Jones. Before John Jones, he was a fucking monster. After John Jones, he's a broken man. He's done. Looks every bit of 38 now. Used to be super explosive, a ton of power, sick hand speed for the division. And now he's a little slower in the pocket. He's got a little less power. Still dangerous. Obviously, we know that he's got a decent submission game, but we don't often see it in the cage. So I think that this is going to be a 5-round, striking war. And his opponent, Jamal Hill, is the best prospect right now, in my opinion, in the world at 205 pounds. Because I'm not on the Magomed Ankalaev hype train like the rest of the fucking world. I'm not on it. He doesn't impress me. So, I think that Jamal Hill has a pretty big striking advantage in this fight. He's way more explosive. He's way faster. He's got stupid power. He could fight from range or in the pocket. He's got a 60% takedown defense. But even when he does get down, if Santos goes that route and tries to take him down, even when he gets taken down, you can't keep Jamal Hill down. Right back up to his feet. And what I loved about that Paul Craig heavy favorite loss is that he rebounded well. He responded really, really well to that loss. And he came back and has looked great. If you're telling me that he has 25 minutes to work, I don't see how he doesn't put Thiago Santos away. I just think that Santos is not an elite fighter anymore. And Jamal Hill is on his way to being. So I'm going to be on Hill. The best price that I saw was like minus, I want to say like minus 130 last night by knockout at FanDuel. Now it's back up to minus 145. I think we threw it on the sheet at like minus 135 or minus 140. I'm okay with that price. Normally, we don't like to bet favorites that are, minus 140, minus 150. We're normally banging plus, 1200s, but I don't mind that price at minus 140. I'm fine with it. I think the edge is big enough that he gets the job done here. Wow, he's minus 175 at DK. Holy shit. Let's go. All right, boys. That's the full card in about 40 minutes. They are currently in cup practice and qualifying. We're on Chris Bell to win the poll for a little half unit shot at 12-1. Hopefully we can get that home. I will be live for Kegcast subscribers. What time does this race start today? 3:30. I'll be live at 3:30 for Kegcast subs, and then we'll probably take a little break. We'll leave the stream up, and then we'll come back for UFC Fight Night. Because now that 2 fights have been canceled, they're not going to run into each other. We're going to have a decent amount of time. So we'll probably take an hour and a half break. And, then we'll be live all night long, trying to hit some live spots. Plus, we'll be betting, obviously, on the card. And aside from that, that's really it. Hope you guys crush this weekend. I hope you run pure. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning with Coop for our NASCAR show. Did a NASCAR show on the Sports Keg YouTube channel also. And 1 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be live with JJ and Coop on Run Pure Sports YouTube, talking DFS and betting. So, should be awesome. Let's make some money. Why not us this weekend? Why not us? Doesn't have to always be everybody else. It could be us. It's going to be us this weekend. Let's fucking crush. See you guys later.